We often imagine the genius as a figure standing on the precipice of human achievement, bathed in divine light. But step closer, and you will find that light casts a shadow so absolute, it consumes every ember of warmth around it. The tragedy of the extraordinary mind is not that it cannot love, but that its very nature renders love impossible. To understand why genius and romance are doomed to mutual destruction, we must first look at where the intellect begins, in the fires of obsession.
When Isaac Newton laid the foundations of modern physics, he did not merely study the universe. He abandoned the living world entirely. Years spent in darkened rooms, staring at prisms until his eyes bled, left no room for intimacy. Arthur Schopenhauer famously observed that genius lives in solitude, for to be alone is the fate of all great minds. For the genius, thought is not a tool. It is an invasive parasite. It demands total surrender.
The mind that can map the cosmos or compose a symphony cannot attune itself to the quiet, fragile rhythm of domestic life. When love demands presence, the genius offers abstraction. This tragic asymmetry wrecks every romantic endeavor. Consider Friedrich Nietzsche, whose brilliant, turbulent mind carved through the illusions of Western morality, yet crumbled into heartbreaking vulnerability before Lou Andreas Salome. In his Longing, Nietzsche wrote that there was always some madness in love, but there was also always some reason in madness. Yet his reason could not save him from the agony of rejection. The genius approaches romance with the same devastating intensity they bring to their craft, projecting an idealized, transcendent vision onto ordinary mortals. When the human object of their affection inevitably falls short of this divine ideal, the collapse is catastrophic. To love a genius is to become a ghost in their grand narrative. Søren Kierkegaard severed his engagement to Regina Olsen, the only woman he ever loved, because he believed his existential calling required total isolation. As Kierkegaard lamented, to love is to be delivered from the tyranny of the self, yet the genius is forever imprisoned within it. The genius cannot offer mutual exchange. They offer an altar, expecting their partner to worship at the flame of their purpose. Franz Kafka echoed this painful reality, writing in his diaries, "My solitude is my native element, and when I am deprived of it, I am deprived of life itself." For Kafka, every attempt at human connection threatened to dilute the pure, agonizing fountain of his writing. The tragedy deepens when we examine the neurobiology of exceptional intellect. High creative intelligence is inextricably bound to hyperfixation and hypersensitivity. Nikola Tesla, who transformed the modern world, remained celibate his entire life, declaring, "I do not think you can name many great inventions that have been made by married men." For Tesla, romantic love was a dangerous energy leak, a disruption to the razor-sharp focus required to pull light from the ether. Vincent van Gogh poured his soul into canvases stained with sweat and tears, crying out, "I put my heart and my soul into my work and have lost my mind in the process." When Van Gogh sought warmth in human arms, he found only rejection, driving him further into the maddening embrace of his art. In our modern era, this isolation has not disappeared. It has merely evolved. Today, we hyper-optimize our lives, mistaking cognitive dominance for human fulfillment. But intelligence does not build bridges. Empathy does. The hyper-rational mind dissects emotion until it bleeds to death on the operating table. As Lord Byron wrote, "The great art of life is sensation, to feel that we exist, even in torture." Modern hyper-intellects often attempt to solve love like an algorithm, completely blind to the fact that love thrives precisely in irrationality, vulnerability, and quiet surrender. Marcel Proust reminded us that love is space and time measured by the heart, yet the analytical mind insists on measuring it with logic. Ultimately, the genius remains cursed by their own elevation. They build monuments of thought that stand for centuries, yet freeze in the cold air of their own high altitudes.
Jean-Paul Sartre once remarked that hell is other people. But for the genius, hell is the terrifying realization that no one can ever truly walk beside them into the dark labyrinth of their mind. They gift humanity the fire of Prometheus, only to burn alone in the dark.